Hi, everyone. Hello, judges. Hey, Matt. I'm here to tell you about Moonstream, Moonstream.to. We build economic infrastructure for Web3 games. Web3 games have become a very important part of the Web3 ecosystem over the last couple of years, starting with the rise of Axie Infinity, which has a game economy whose value is measured in like billions of dollars. Since the success of Axie Infinity, many game developers, like traditional game developers, have identified that, integrating Web3 into their game, first of all, is a great source of, funding, an alternative source of funding compared to how they normally raise money. But even more importantly, it's a way to build much more engaging and immersive games with the collaboration of their player communities than ever existed before. So. A large number, not like a majority or something, but a large number of traditional game developers are starting to integrate different elements of Web3 into their games. One of the biggest challenges for these game developers is that as soon as you build a Web3 game, your game economy becomes a real economy. So the way that you thought about a game economy and the way that you tuned your game economy to be more entertaining or engaging to players, all of those lessons that you learned go out the window because all of a sudden, you need to think like the Federal Reserve managing the US economy rather than a game developer managing the World of Warcraft economy. So the biggest, as soon as you have a game that has some amount of traction on Web3, your biggest problem is, how do I make sure my economy doesn't crash? How do I keep the economy healthy? And that's the problem that we help games to solve. So before Moonstream existed, the way that games did this, the way, for example, that Axie did this, was they would take the money that they raised from their NFT sales and just spend it on marketing to new players to bring new players into the ecosystem. The image that I put next to that strategy shows you what I think about that, right? Besides that, they've been trying to create staking programs. These work similarly to US Treasury bonds, where players stake in currencies into a staking smart contract, and then they earn a monthly yield on that currency. It's a reasonable strategy, but it's one-dimensional. What we do at Moonstream is we've identified, there's two important principles to a healthy economy. The first principle is that the people who are participating in the economy should be able to produce in that economy. And the second principle is that there should be, taxes create value. The reason that the US dollar has value is because the US government accepts only US dollars as the denomination, the currency in which you pay your taxes. So based on those two principles, we offer a variety of features on our platform that help games maintain healthy economies. So we have on-chain mini games, on-chain crafting, Minecraft style. We allow games to deliver rewards to their players for activities that they do. We have leaderboards that incentivize players to act in a healthy manner inside the economy. And we run security bots as well to make sure that the economy is protected against bad actors. The way that we charge $1,000 per month to anyone who wants to know what's going on in an on-chain economy. And then for game projects, we charge as an infrastructure provider. We charge them 10 cents per interactions that their users make against our platform, against our smart contracts and our APIs. This year, we launched last November. This year, we've done over $4 billion in transaction volume, over millions of transactions, and the numbers sort of are there. And I'm out of time. This is me. This is my team. Thank you.
Very good. You had Will nodding along at the end when he saw those numbers, so let's start with you.
Sorry, what's that?
You were nodding along when he was
yeah.
presenting the numbers, so I'm hoping to start with you.
Yeah, congrats on the traction and
Thanks.
your success so far. I'm going to ask a general question because there's a lot of game developers and Web2 developers who question why even bring in Web3 or crypto into a game system and create a game economy. What are the biggest advantages you see?
So game developers really do care about user-generated content. This is something that is very important to game developers because it helps them to scale to scale the engagement and entertainment with their game beyond what they as a single company are capable of. And Web3 just like dials that up to 11 because, with Web3, you can actually give your users equitable incentives to create content for the rest of the player community. I think that's the most important dynamic that we've identified in Web3 games. And that's like, if your game isn't really taking advantage of that, then it probably doesn't have business being a Web3 game. But the people who are building good Web3 games really understand this very fundamentally, and that's the important thing. So players creating content for other players and getting rewarded proportional to the value that their content brings to the community.
And then how are you getting these Web3 games to adopt you?
Sorry, I didn't
How
hear.
are you getting adoption from these guys, I guess, in some ways, instead of having them build it
Word of
yourself?
mouth these days. So our largest customer is a game called Crypto Unicorns on the Polygon blockchain. Other games see what they've been doing with Moonstream as a platform, and that creates a lot of conversations for us. Also for very successful games, in Web3 gaming, the model of how games are built has really changed. What's really important is the player community and the world, the shared world that they inhabit. Any particular game developer doesn't actually matter. That's what decentralization means here. And so in a single game universe, the guys who get it, they're inviting other people to develop games for their player communities, and they're sort of opening up the community. They're tearing down the moats or the walls that around their player base, because that's what really creates value economically. And so in communities where we have a good presence, any new developers who come and start building games in those communities, they naturally just use our platform because we already plug into the economic data, we already have the on-chain mechanics, and so that's how we grow. Yeah.
One of the big open questions, I think, for me and some others is to what degree, what parts of the gaming stack live on chain, right? There's this kind of distinction between the gaming logic itself and the application logic itself, and the capital markets sort of logic, which Web3 is bringing into gaming. Do you have a perspective on where Moonstream would participate in that game? Are you focused on just the capital markets, or does the gaming logic and application logic go on chain?
So we don't dictate how our customers do things. We have customers that are fully on-chain. We have customers that are hybrid. They have a game server, and then they have on-chain stuff, partly hosted by them, partly hosted by us. The on-chain games the games that we build, the game mechanics that we build, are fully on-chain because we really think that's the future. So our position is the more of your game economy that's represented on-chain, the better it is for your project, basically. You should ideally be looking to represent as much on-chain as possible, and so we build everything on-chain, but our customers choose what they want to use from our platform, so they can be hybrid if they want. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anything else? I got one. Why is this important to you?
Me and my entire team were avid gamers, and I understand that the kind of games that I want to play, that I want my children to play, they can only exist with this kind of decentralization in mind. And so that's what sort of got us started. And then we've just sort of been riding the wave ever since. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.